most famous physical therapist on the internet.
Hi, folks. I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
We are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
All right, the question of the day, Brad. Should you nap? Is it good? Bad? How long? How often?
Good questions. There's a lot of questions there, Bob.
By the way, I come from a long line of nappers.
Oh.
My dad took a nap. My mom just said she always used to not take a nap. She'd get work done.
Yeah.
During that period when the kids would lay down,
Yeah.
and after a while she found, what was I doing? I didn't wake
She
up.
could
I was
join in.
exhausted. Yeah. By the way, if you're new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. Also, go to bobandbrad.com. Go to the giveaway section. Always giving something away.
That's
We're
right.
giving away suspension straps.
For exercise.
It's a workout. Yeah, it's a great workout.
I
You
love
gotta
them.
check out our video on that. Also, go to Facebook.
The Facebook.
You go to it'll be pinned to the top of the page, the contest, the Twitter,
Is that the
Instagram.
right hand or the left hand side?
It's kind of right in the middle.
Right in the middle. Good.
Go to Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok if you want a
There
60-second
you
version
go.
of our program. Actually, Brad, there's a fair amount of research on napping.
Mm-hmm.
But before I'm going to say that, there was a
Oh.
lot of notable people that were nappers.
Ah.
Winston Churchill,
Irish.
JFK, Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
He'd do it even during meetings. Albert Einstein, Thomas Edison. And this is when I went to Mayo Clinic, as you know, for my studies.
Sure.
And they made you read their biography of the two Mayo brothers.
Oh, that started it.
Yeah,
Yes.
and William Mayo,
Yep.
I worked at his house for a while as a
Did
waiter.
you get to meet him?
No, he was dead a long time ago.
Oh.
But he was a napper, and apparently, even when he'd have famous people over,
Yeah.
he'd say, "I'm sorry, I gotta leave,"
it's nap
and he'd go and
time.
nap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Queen of England was over one time,
Yeah.
and he got up and said, "I gotta go and take my nap."
I hope it didn't upset her.
Yeah, apparently not. So, anyway, there's a lot of studies on it, and there's actually three types of naps. Did you know that, Brad?
No.
Planned napping, which means you're preparing in case you know you're going to lose sleep that night,
Oh, I
so you
see.
actually plan and take a nap
Sure.
ahead of time.
Mhm.
Habitual napping, which is a daily nap, that's
Yep.
me. And then there's emergency napping. So like if you're driving along and all of a sudden you
yeah.
get real
I've done
tired.
that already.
Yeah. So what are the benefits? Let's go over that first. So there's, again, lots of studies. It restores alertness. No surprise there. It really, I saw one that recently talks about how it improves your cognitive ability, your ability to
Sure.
remember.
Right.
And I know that I would always try to study right before I went to bed.
Mhm.
And, apparently that
Yeah.
did help you.
Yeah. Absorb it.
Absorb it.
Mhm.
It'll enhance your performance. It'll reduce mistakes and accidents. They did a NASA study of astronauts and pilots and improved their performance 34%.
Well, it really makes sense if you sit down and think about it.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like relaxing your body, because you're fatigued physically. You take a little nap, get some fresh blood in the
recharging
system.
your battery.
Yep, and go back to work. Yeah,
Yeah.
so mentally it's makes sense.
Decreased risk of drowsy driving, of course.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was reading that one book on sleep, and they talked about even a slight decrease in alertness was equal to being like drunk. I mean, it didn't take much.
I'm never going to read that book. 'Cause
I know, it'll scare the hell out of you.
exaggerates clearly, because I would be dead so many times by now.
I
Driving.
found it though when I'm driving tired. Like, whoa, boy, that was close. So,
Yeah. When you cross the center line, that's when I
Yeah.
stop to take a nap or get some Pepsi.
The other thing the studies have found, you're less impulsive, and this is really true with me. You have a greater tolerance for frustration.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I mean, I get in the worst moods when I'm tired. I'm like, yeah, you need to go take a nap, or you need to.
Well,
get
kids
some
are
sleep.
like that all the time.
And I'm like
Liz,
a
are your
kid.
kids like that? They get a little cranky when they're tired.
Yeah, when they
Alex too.
when
your
they
husband?
when they get overtired.
Yeah.
That's and they get to that point of not coming back. Really good for shift workers.
Yeah.
It's funny. Linda's dad was a shift worker, and so was her brother.
Mhm.
And it's I just don't think shift work is good for you. I mean, it really is. It's so bad. Shift.
Well, if you stay in the same shift,
stay on the same shift. That's a difference.
yeah, but rotating shifts are that I think I got a whole theory on that, but I'm not going to get into it now.
Well, they showed that naps obviously help this, but also
Sure.
they found out naps and caffeine are the best combination for that. No surprise, but
Yeah.
so then there's the psychological benefit. It's like a pleasant mini vacation.
Oh, sure.
That's how I look at it to me. It's like, oh, I love taking a nap, So
Yeah.
so what are the negative parts of it? So
Yeah, what are they?
well, there really aren't that many, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. One, if you take a nap too close to bedtime, it can affect your nighttime
well,
sleep, and we
yeah.
see that among the elderly when we work with them. Sometimes they can't
Yep,
sleep at night,
yep.
and we go, "Did you sleep during the day?" No, and you come in their room and they're zonked out. They don't even know they slept during the day.
Well, if you sleep too long in naps or too much in the day, you get your nights and your days
Yeah,
flipped
right,
flipped around.
So the other one is sleep inertia, and this has happened to me. And we're going to talk about when it's too long, what's the right time to take a nap,
Okay.
the amount of time. If you sleep too long, you get into that grogginess. You ever get to that where you took a nap, you woke up, and I was like, God,
Takes
I
a
can't.
half hour.
Yeah,
to wake
yeah,
up.
yeah. You can't just.
Just jump in the shower.
Yeah, right.
to
There's
get
just
going.
no getting it going. So you got to watch the amount of time to prevent that sleep inertia.
Yeah.
And number 3, this is probably isn't a big one for me. It doesn't bother me. Is a stigma. Like you're considered lazy if you take a nap, or
absolutely.
the lack of ambition.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because
Oh, darn
you're not
right.
a napper, are you? You once in a while you take one, right?
Yeah, but no, historically, man, well, you didn't nap when you were working. Well, you
Right.
couldn't. I mean, you got work to get done. You can't say, "Oh, I'm going to take a nap."
Well, I wouldn't take a nap. It's funny when I work construction at lunch, I'd tip over a wheelbarrow and I'd
Yeah.
lay in the wheelbarrow and take a nap for 15 minutes.
Yeah, actually, it's a good. Yeah, it's. But I know when I'm working, I'm thinking about work. I'm not thinking about a nap.
So
My mind is focused.
let's talk about the length of time, Brad. So
Yes.
you have cycles in sleep. You have REM sleep, non-REM sleep,
Yeah.
and to go through a full cycle of sleep is an hour and a half. So if you sleep a full hour and a half, you're fine.
Yeah.
But if you sleep like 45 minutes,
Yeah.
you're not, because if you sleep less than 30 minutes, you're fine too, because you never get into REM sleep. You never get into a cycle.
Yeah.
So either sleep less than 30 or sleep an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Don't sleep like 45, don't sleep an hour. That's when you can get into that groggy. Or if you sleep like 2 hours, you could be in that groggy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, it does, except for I have a feeling these numbers may vary from person to person.
You would be surprised. That's what, again,
Is the same book that you're talking about? Yeah.
How,
The book I'm not going to read.
yeah, right. How consistent it is among people and animals and plants,
Yeah.
and it's just amazing. That's what I thought too. It's like, oh, they're going, no, it's not as much variance as you think. And that whole thing about a lot of people being able to get by on 6 hours of sleep,
Yeah.
that too was a myth. That it was like 1 out of 1,000 people.
Right.
could
Well,
do
I can
that.
believe that for sure.
So but there's a lot of people that do it, and
Yeah.
they're running subpar. So
But it'd be interesting to see what their lifespan is. But I don't know how you would. That'd be
Right.
That'd be a tough one to study.
well, you'd have to do it after the fact, obviously. I mean, I gotta take a look at it. So I guess my final saying is going to be, yes, you can go ahead and nap. They're good for you. There's all these benefits. Pick a time. I'd probably 30 minutes or less.
Yep.
That's what I do, 20
Sure.
minutes. Or an hour and a half. Go the full hour and a half if you're,
Ooh.
yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, because you'd think that then I would be staying up later, probably. I don't know.
Right. You probably would be, unless you're at a deficit.
Sure.
So-
Right.
All right. Happy naps out there.
Yes. Nap well and be careful.
Be careful.
Well, you got dreams, and they
Yeah.
get in the way. I had a bad one last night, a bear. Luckily, I had my deer rifle.
Are
with
we
me.
still on?
Yeah. Well, I won. Everything was okay.
Is
and
this like
safe.
The Reverend? Wasn't that this movie? Reverend?
Well, I don't know about that, but I've had dreams where the bears got me. And then I had to wake up screaming.
What is that? What does that mean with
The
a bear?
black bear.
What does that symbolize?
Big bear.
Who's the bear in your life?
I don't know, Bob. I'm not
We
a
gotta get in-
psychologist.
we gotta get
I
into
just know
this.
what I see.
All right.
Carry on.